This podcast is brought to you by Infinite Resources, a local staffing agency connecting diverse job candidates in central Iowa companies.
Welcome back to Black and Privileged in America podcast, Power, Love, and Money conversations relevant to Black thriving, supported by Infinite Resources. I'm your host, Abana Sankofa. I think we could all use a little lesson about being a boss, and today my guest is an actual real-life boss lady who is going to share about some of the endeavors that she has coming up and really what motivates her to do the work that she does. But first, catch Black and Privileged in America podcast on the Amplified DSM network, on the Amplified DSM YouTube channel, all social media platforms, and everywhere you listen to podcasts. Kourtney Perry, CEO of Privacy LLC, Lady Lex Scented Candles, and a self-published author of Be Your Authentic Self. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Kourtney, listen, I know, okay. First of all, I'm just jump right in it. Your company is called Privacy LLC, which implies that you are a private person.
Okay.
So I guess before I try to get beneath that surface layer, if you'll let me, or if not, whatever.
We're going to touch base a little bit.
Okay. I like that. Thank you.
I'll be a little bit open for you today.
Oh, wow. Okay. This is a privilege.
Just for you. Definitely. Definitely.
Right. Hence Black and Privileged in America. So welcome again to the show. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
The name of your business is Privacy LLC. I just want to ask where that comes from. Why did you name your business Privacy?
You know, I started out in 2018, and when I started, you know, I am a private individual. And so I had to piece myself, of course, with what I was going to do. And I was like, privacy. Privacy not only is myself, but also when you are doing events and you're creating memories, there's always a piece of that memory that you don't share with other people that's private to you. And so that's what I want to be able to do, is create those private moments and those memories for people to cherish for a lifetime.
That's interesting to me. Okay, when you say share part of it that you don't share with anyone, what do you mean?
There's just some things that you don't need to tell everybody. You know, we live in a technology era, like they want to tell it all.
There's no secrets anymore.
Like, you know, it's okay to keep some stuff to yourself. That's you. That's your life.
I love that.
Not everybody needs to know all that.
So you truly believe in, you know, there's a time to close the curtain.
There's a time to close the curtain. There's not, you don't put it all out there, and then you wonder why people are always in your business.
Okay, so she's already preaching to somebody out there.
Somebody, stop.
Yeah. So what do you do at Privacy LLC?
So Privacy LLC, it's funny because I knew I was going to probably get asked this question. When I first started, Privacy was supposed to be a T-shirt company.
A T-shirt, like printing?
Like printing T-shirt company. I'm a T-shirt girl, as you can see.
I love your shirt. Did you make this one?
I did.
The dream is free. The hustle is sold separately. Quit it.
Let's quit playing. It's sold separately. And but after, you know, I started moving and shaking, I really started with event planning when I had the opportunity with Mr. Robert Presswood to do Clash of the Clippers. And so along that lines, I started getting into event planning. And then, of course, after, you know, getting my hustle on and getting my networking, you got your business consulting. And so now, as of right now, 2024, Privacy LLC is event planning and brand management.
I love that. So you have clientele?
Yes.
So how do you attract your clientele? Is it word of mouth? Is it marketing that you do? How does that work?
It's a little plethora of everything. I get a lot of my business word of mouth. Thank you for my supporters. I appreciate y'all for putting me out there because the calls do come in. I currently am on a wait list. Like I'm on hold right now with getting ready to get Juneteenth over with. But I do a lot of marketing here and there. I just recently had a team with University of Iowa where we did some reconstructing for the company. So I haven't done a lot of marketing, but that is going to be getting heavily hit starting next month and get people out so they really actually know what privacy actually does. Because, you know, other companies that I had underneath that umbrella, you know, it kind of got kind of confusing. Like, what do you do?
Yeah.
So now now that I've had that with them, we're going to heavily hit like understanding this is event planning. This is what we do. We can take your festivals. We can do your birthday parties. We can do your social gatherings. But also, too, I want to make sure that I'm helping my small business owners and letting them know that the knowledge and expertise that I have, I want to invest that back in you so that you can take a business and build it just as I can.
That's excellent. I mean, how many clients would you say you have right now that you're balancing?
So right now I've got about 10.
Wow. Are you a one-woman show?
I am a one-woman show.
And you balancing 10 clients?
I got an assistant, and she is on an as-needed basis, but and I'm a one-woman show right now.
Okay, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So I see why they call you boss lady, straight up. Okay. So what types of clients, before I ask that, like, how did you learn to do what you're doing? Because there is a learning curve to any entrepreneurial journey, where you know what you know, but you may need to pick up some additional skills along the way. How did you go from printing T-shirts? By the way, I want one like that.
Okay.
And how'd you go from that to event planning? Like, there is some gap in the middle. How did you feel that?
There definitely is a gap. You'd be like, how you come up with this and you're doing that?
Yeah.
Well, prior to even being my own boss, CEO person, I have worked in a plethora of different industries. I've worked in education, construction, automotive. I was out there, doing tires. And I've taken my profile of experience and knowledge, and I've built that into being my own. And then, of course, it's common sense and knowledge, and then it's also the classes and resources that they offer you. So it's a wide range of educational resources that I have been able to take advantage of to make me who I am today.
Okay. And I think you're speaking to something really important that I like for people. I hope that they're taking this away, is that many of these skills are transferable. So being able to relate to people and be on a team and team build, all of that is transferable no matter what industry you're in, would you say?
You are correct. You are correct. I tell people, especially our youth these days, like, they're going to come in and say, hey, I want to do this, but you can take those other opportunities, and you don't have to be there forever, but it might be an opportunity that will give you something that you can take somewhere else. And so everything that I have done, I have taken, and I have built my portfolio, and I got the skill set, baby.
You got the skill set, baby. Yes.
Need.
Listen, I am an entrepreneur, and when I branched out on my own about maybe 7 years ago, 6-7 years ago, I said, I ain't never working for anybody else ever again. Now, I find myself dabbling in certain areas just for the fun of it, because I know I can, and it feels good to give back. But to rely on your own abilities, your own skills, what does that feel like?
It feels amazing and scary at the same time. I will tell you, being a entrepreneur, you definitely have to live on faith, and you have to believe in yourself, because you have it. It's built in you. You just got to make sure you tap into it. And if you don't be afraid to ask, like, okay, if I don't have this, is there somebody out there that can help me build this? Or can I put this in a position where somebody else can be a part of the team, which is always hard to do. But yeah, you got it. You got to just believe in yourself.
So you mentioned, if you have a question, if you're confronting a challenge, it's good to ask somebody. Do you have a mentor formally, or do you just go to people who have been experienced in that area?
I've got a few go-to mentors that I go to. Like, I could text you and be like, hey, I need help with this. Yes. But then also, too, I know that there's programs and resources that are out there that are available to you that I've taken advantage of. But also, too, like, you have example of Lynn K. Davis. If you need that service, there's somebody there that you can go and talk to, brainstorm, and get the information.
And you're referring to Evelyn K. Davis Center for Working Families?
Correct.
Yeah. They have a lot of programs there.
They have a lot of programs there. I haven't used any of them, but I know a lot of people who have, and they find them beneficial. So I'm just throwing that out there as an example. But yeah, I have my go-to ladies. When you get to a certain point, you have to have those ladies that are there that are more experienced and not just the base level. And so that's what I found myself into. And I had to really tell myself, like, you got ladies who can help you, and that's who you need to dial into.
When did you know that? When were you aware of the moment that it was okay for you to step away from whatever your former career path was and just to be in your entrepreneurship and trust in your ability to do that work and to generate revenue? Because it takes income, not just revenue, it takes income. So when did you know that you would be fine if you just gave it your all?
I will say I did not know when I left my last little part-time job. I just was tired of it, and I just left. So I didn't really know, but I just said I knew I had it in me. But as I've gradually grown over the course of the year, that's how I decided, like, you go back and you look at those statements, you do your taxes, okay? And you look and be like, oh my gosh. And so, you have it, but you just got to dial in and have faith.
Dial in and have faith. So I see that faith is a theme. What is faith for you? What does that mean? Do you have are you a very spiritual person? Are you a religious person? Are you churchy? Where does your faith stem from?
From my grandmother, of course. My grandmother was very heavily and instilled in us that, the Lord is your shepherd. So, and when I say by faith, it's because the trials and tribulations that you go through in life will break you all the way down. And I've been broke down to the bottom and had to bring myself back up. But I've learned in a way that we try to control our lives and try to say everything that we do, you try to map it out, but sometimes it don't work. It don't always work that way. And you literally just have to just pray on it and have faith that you going to see yourself through it and make sure that it happens.
Wow. Okay. Shout out to grandma.
Yeah.
Big mamas all over the world.
All over the world.
Wherever you are, whoever you are, whatever they call you, Gigi, grandma, granny, big mama.
Sure. Mine was Grandma Ducky.
Yeah. Oh, Grandma Ducky.
Grandma Ducky.
Oh, I love that. Mine was Granny. My granny. Yeah. So shout out to them. I mean,
yes.
Where would you be without your grandmother right now?
Oh, man, that was my backbone. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. So I'm gonna come back to personal life. But I know you're Privacy LLC, so I'm a little scared. I'm like, is she gonna talk?
Like I said, I'll touch on a little bit. I can't get a world everything.
Well, no, you can't, and you shouldn't. I don't think we should.
No.
Did your grandmother was she a hands-on type person? Did she make things with her hands or?
No, what? Grandma wasn't. She wasn't. She was hands on to tap that butt. But I was the baby, so I ain't really get too much of that.
Oh,
so
it was the older ones.
That was the older ones. But no, my grandma was the church cook.
Oh.
And she did childcare. She raised. It took a village. She had a daycare. Everybody was at grandma's house, and we all raised. She raised us and made sure we became the people she needed us to be.
Is she still living?
No, unfortunately, she did pass away 2020.
2020. And what did you feel? I know, and I'm asking that because for me, I'm very close to my mother, but my dad was my parent, right? He was the one I'm gonna lean on my daddy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when he passed away, I felt that there was some type of hole in my heart, really.
Mm-hmm.
What did you sense or what did you learn when your grandmother transitioned?
Well, I took care of my grandmother a couple of years. She had some health concerns. And so those past few years before she actually had her demise, I had already prepared myself to be ready to let go. It's a hard process, just dealing with all that I had to deal with. And, but I know that she's in a better place than not, dealing with, because when people are so headstrong and they hit that health issue, they don't really take it too well.
Yeah.
And she was hard-headed,
I ain't heard that saying in so long. I say it in my house, but I've not heard anyone outside my house say hard-headed.
Hard-headed. As you get ready to take care of your parents, I don't know if anybody out there is taking care of their parents. They don't listen.
No.
They don't want to go to the doctor. I don't want to do none of that. So, it's like, how they used to get on you, you got to get on them. And so
role reversal.
Yeah, it definitely is. But I really got to spend some time with my grandmother and really get to see her and take care of her. There's also going to always be that little hole in my heart. Again, she was my backbone. She was my go-to. She was my peace. So at the end of the day, I just still got to keep going.
Well, what's the biggest lesson you learned from her?
Man.
I know there's got to be several.
There's a lot of things,
well,
man.
Yeah, give us a couple maybe.
A couple is always present yourself in a proper manner. And always keep yourself in good surroundings.
I think that's important. Come on, Grandma.
Yeah. Yeah.
Grandma Ducky.
My Grandma Ducky did not put herself into too many situations, and she kept herself and so she kept herself around some good people. And
I assume that, and I would assume by your success and the woman of influence that you are in our community, that you have maintained your good surroundings
Mm-hmm.
and that you have been careful about making a good, solid first impression. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh for sure. Oh for sure. I know I probably have rubbed some people the wrong way. I ain't always been this great person. You know, everybody's got their downfalls. But I take that at heat. My reputation and who I am is very important to me.
Mm-hmm. So, talk a little bit about reputation. I mean, some people don't understand that your reputation precedes you; it
Mm-hmm.
goes before you. So,
Mm-hmm.
what do you say to younger, or I won't even say younger as an age, but up and coming entrepreneurs or business owners about their reputations and how that can impact their future?
Be mindful of how people perceive you. Um, you know, technology wants you to put it all out there, and the celebrities and way in which they live make you feel as if you can do it too, or, you know, they make it look good. But sometimes you just gotta do you. You know, it's not meant for the world to see everything. It's meant for you to be the person that you are. Be real with yourself. Be your authentic self. Don't try to be this fake person, you know? Be real and let the world know who you are and why you're here.
What is real?
Man, no lies. No lies. Don't put on no fake persona. If that's not you and that's your friend, let that be your friend and be you. It's okay to sit in the background. I am a background person. I'll just sit me in. I don't care. If you get all the credit, I'm okay with that. But I know I was a part of it, so that's all that matters.
So you're saying it's okay to not get the credit for everything.
Yeah.
That's revolutionary because in 2024, everybody wants the credit for something.
Man, I'm telling you, like I see it. I see it. Everybody wants their name on something. And don't get me wrong, should your name be there? Yes. You can be acknowledged. But it's okay to know that you were there and support and did the work. Because regardless, your name is going to get said. If you are there, going to know who you are. It's all about knowing your place sometimes.
Okay, see, listen. You, Kourtney Perry, are freeing people up. Today, my guest is Kourtney Perry. She is the CEO of Privacy LLC, Ladylike Scented Candles, and she's a self-published author of a book, a self-care book called Be Your Authentic Self. And while we're talking about authenticity, why did you feel it was necessary to publish? Like your workbook, I've seen people posting it all over social media. Everybody has this workbook, Be Your Authentic Self. Why is that important?
Because, I mean, you can't keep telling a lie. And it's a lot of the majority that you see right now. Like people are just living fake lives, and you have to remember that if you have children, your children are going to perceive this. You have a career, your career is going to perceive this. And then at some point in time, are you going to continue to live this lie, or are you going to be real with who you are? And that really also stems from all the way back into going back into your real self of who you was as a child and where you grew up at and all of that. Finding those deep down moments of those personal ideas that you had to be this great person. It just all stems from being who you really want to be and not perceiving that self of anybody else.
Yeah, this is incredible because I'm wondering, we're inundated with images of people who are using like technology to improve their face, and then they post the picture, and
AI is
they're
huge right
confusing
now.
themselves and thinking
AI
that's
is
them.
huge
That's
right
not
now.
who you are.
It's so funny because
Yeah.
the little feature that it came out, I'm like, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
I'm cool with what I look like. I'm cool with what I look like. And I need to lose a little weight, get my weight. But that no. Yeah. I mean, it's great. It's fun. But don't let that hinder you from who you really are. And of course, we know women get shamed a lot for their body image now.
Yep.
And so this AI has now kind of may have hindered, especially our youth.
They're really struggling with that. Yeah.
Huge issue in the youth. And I'm huge. Like, it's hard set seeing these kids nowadays because the generation that we grew up in is not happening. Okay. So it's just, I need for our leaders to show our youth the realness so that we can get back to to the normal.
I mean, who are
New
our
normal.
leaders? Yeah, the new normal. I'm scared of
New
normal. Like
normal.
that word,
It's not normal
it's
anymore.
triggering
New
for
normal.
me.
Yeah.
The new normal.
New normal.
Okay. Who are the leaders? Because I mean, you invoked the idea of leaders.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I realized, especially in our local community, now this is Black and Privileged in America podcast. We are broadcasting from Des Moines, Iowa, central Iowa. So I do realize that in our immediate community, a lot of our Black leaders are, I don't want to say a lot. I'll say some. Listen, some of our Black leaders have been plucked from the muck and mire and appointed as leaders by majority culture. I'll put it that way. And are
Nicely
they?
put.
Yeah, I'm trying, honey.
Nicely
I'm trying.
put. I know, girl.
They're appointed and anointed as, oh, you are the leader of Black folks in this city.
No, you're not.
And they're not. They don't speak for us. They don't represent us, although they look like us. So which leaders are you calling forth to take responsibility? I know all of us have this responsibility, but who are the leaders that you're speaking of?
I'm speaking of those ones who don't need the recognition. I'm speaking of those ones who have that passion to get up in the middle of the night when they get a phone call that somebody's in need. That's a leader. I'm speaking to those ones who show up to the school for their kids just to go and check on their kids. Just like, doing regular pop-ups, those types of ones, those types of leaders. I'm speaking about those people who have initiatives that are going on and they really actually care about what they're providing to the children and not the dollars that are coming in. Because regardless, if you're caring for those children and you're doing what's right, that money's going to come to your organization. But don't worry about that money before you do for those children. Yeah, it's just along the lines. Being in the position I am, I've seen a lot, and I'm paying attention to a lot of things, and I'm wowed by how certain people and organizations kind of do business. It's kind of like, wow, is that really how that works? So
yeah, I feel you.
Like that's the best way. Like I'm not. Yeah, we on the same page. We grew up on the same area, so you know how this rolls. But those leaders are those ones who it's their passion to lead, not because you've been put in this position, not because you learn that trait. I mean, well, you can learn the trait over time, but who you really are invested.
Absolutely, I think you're absolutely right. It is about that investment. It is where your loyalty lies in the same place that you put your investment.
Yeah.
You invest in what you're loyal to. I'll put it that way.
There you go.
So, yeah, I feel that. And my heart goes out to those leaders, the ones that you're speaking of.
Because it's hard.
It is hard.
It's hard. It's hard to step up sometimes. You baffle going back and forth. Like, do I really want to? Like, I'm tired. I just did that. But if it's something that you need to do, you're going to get out there and you're going to get it done. And it's not always about being acknowledged or, getting that benefit from you doing it. Like, people be on social media saying that they gave money to the panhandlers and they want to videotape it. No, that you're just supposed to give that.
That gets
and let
on
it
my
go.
last nerve. Don't nobody want to be sitting outside struggling, already hungry, already ain't got no shoes, no home, no clothes, and I'm on camera.
Right.
Like, what? Nobody wants that.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I'm
a passion.
I love that. Okay. So who is the workbook for? Who is the audience for Be Your Authentic Self?
Men, women, and children. I wrote that from experience. It basically goes back all the way down to taking care of yourself first. And I myself am really still in the first beginning of the stages because I lost myself in, doing and just getting the hustle on and, making sure that my brand was out there. And, I lost sight of taking care of my own health. So it's about, taking care of who you are before you can provide for anybody else. Worrying about where it is that you want to go so that you can provide for your family. Finding that work balance to make sure that you can work a 9-to-5 and still be an entrepreneur and still be able to take care of your family. There are certain things that you need to align, and the workbook will help you with that.
I love it. Okay. So how can people get this workbook?
The workbook you can find is on www.privacyllc.net. Be Your Authentic Self is a property of Privacy LLC, so that's why you'll find it on the website. And it's called Be Authentic, and you can order that online. Yes, you
Be
can.
authentic. Order online. Get that workbook, y'all. I'm getting mine because I got to get some stuff in order, honey.
Yes.
There comes a point as an entrepreneur that you plateau.
Mhm.
You've accomplished a certain amount of goals or whatever the goals are that you set or whatever those milestones are, and you reach them and then you start chilling.
Yep.
And I don't know,
You get comfortable.
yeah, you get comfortable.
You get comfortable. And the workbook is not something where you're going to go through it page by page. I tell people, go through the book, read it, and then set yourself up to a point where if this is where I need to go and find who my circle is and make sure I got my power squad, then that's what I'm going to focus on there. Or if I need to make sure that my work-life balance is, you can do that there. You take that page and you do it and then keep moving. And you can go back to it every now and then.
Do you have workshops or in-person or maybe some type of convening for people who have the workbook to kind of get together and maybe benefit from some coaching from you?
So right now, that's what I'm working on, is building that list up, and I'll be contacting those that have purchased it so that we can have those makeup sessions. But then I also offer workshops where I can come to your organization. I did that with Wild and Waterloo, and then I did one with Hip Hop, where Know Your Worth. We did a class there. And so I have the opportunity where I can actually bring the workbook and we sit down and have a conversation. It's about an hour and 90 minutes of workshop.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay, let me get one so I can go to one of these things.
Yeah.
For real. Okay, so Lady Lex scented candles.
Woo, woo.
What I'll say about this is your entire fragrance line has changed the vibe in my studio where I work.
That's what I needed to hear.
I'm telling you, it's the truth.
That's what I needed to
That
hear.
sage, lavender, whatever that
Sacred
scent.
sage.
Yes. Oh
Sacred
my
sage.
goodness.
That's
When
a
I
part of
spray
the
that
aromatherapy
in my
collection.
studio,
Mm-hmm.
all the negative energy leave, including people. Like
Yes.
there's been some people
You got to go.
who
Remove
just
it.
abruptly left.
Yes.
And I love that. It's like it chases away negative energy.
Yeah. That's what it's supposed to do, is aromatherapy collection. Take away.
Tell us more about that. The candles, the fragrances, all of it.
Lady Lex birthed out of COVID, of course, with the events getting shut down. Sister suggested, try this out. Of course, I'm a creative, so why not? Got in the basement, whipped up some candles. Not beknownst to me that Lady Lex was really going to
Wait a minute. But you did this just in the basement random?
I did start it off in the basement on random. Yeah.
Did you Google recipes? Like, how does this work?
I ordered a kit off Amazon, get the whip in your wrist and
Wow.
and come up with some creations. Of course, heavy research. When I was going through that, I learned that the benefits of what a candle does, even just the scent, the fragrance, how the materials are molded together, and all it comes out to this fabulous product. And I'm a thing, like, I could create something, and the fact that I just sell it and you love it, that's a whirlwind to me. Of course, the revenue is great that comes in, but the combination of what I put together is blended with the oils of fragrance, but also essential oils. So the natural essential oils is what gives you that release of the toxins in your body to give you that relaxation, relieve your headaches, release your mood swings, and enhance your sexual desires. So,
we're going to get freaky deek if we light this
you
candle.
You can.
Okay.
So, I have a set. I think there's 6 now. I just released 2 more. So there's 6 sets and that are aromatherapy collection. And then we have our spring collection and we have our regular stock collection. And it's a bunch of different fragrances, your musky, your light scent, your florals. And I've got a bunch of different customers and clients that are all across the board. But the candles last a long time. They're 40 plus. I got to tell some people, I'm gonna need you to come back and get some more candles. They have a 40 plus hour burn time. Again, they're a fragrance blend, essential oils, and the glasses are recyclable. So you can bring my products back to me and get a discount off your next one.
Oh, that I didn't know.
Yes.
I got a whole bunch
I be forgetting to tell people about
Let me
that.
tell you.
Bring my stuff back.
Bring it back. Get a discount.
Bring it back. I could reuse that.
It's good for the environment.
Yes, it is. No sense in throwing that in a recycle bin. No.
Okay. So, I mean, and this can also be found on your website, privacyllc.net?
Nope.
No.
Lady Lex is now its own separate entity.
Ah.
The website is www.ladylexcandles, and lady, let me spell this out.
Yeah.
www.ladie LADIE, Lex, LEX, candles with an S.net.
Got it. We got it.
All right.
And we'll also include that in our show notes. Another endeavor that you've undertaken in the last couple years is kind of coordinating the Iowa Juneteenth observance.
Ooh,
and yeah, right. It's a huge, huge thing.
Huge.
And we're coming up on Juneteenth for 2024. Can you tell us a bit about what your part of that is and what there is to look forward to this year?
Okay, so Iowa Juneteenth, I work side Dewana Bradley, the lovely general chairperson of Iowa Juneteenth Observance, and I'm the project manager. I basically oversee all the events that are hosted throughout the year. My main baby is Neighbors Day celebration, which is on the third Saturday of every June. Governor Tom Vilsack put that in play. Okay, so the third Saturday of every June, Iowa Juneteenth Observance has their Neighbors Day celebration. So that's my main event that I do oversee, but I see over all of them. Yeah, pretty huge. And
so there are many moving parts to this. So there's a gala.
So,
or I don't want to say it wrong.
We call it a banquet. We're going to be doing some transition next year, so you might see some different things. But we have the banquet that is always on a Thursday, the third Thursday, and we partner with Drake University. And this year we have 3 speakers. The theme for the next 2 years is remembering our history.
Love it.
Releasing the past. And reshaping our future.
Yes, come through Juneteenth.
Okay.
I was fortunate enough to be the speaker last year.
Yeah.
And it's always nice to be at home. You know, I do a lot of speaking engagements out of the city, out of the state, but it was nice to be at home with my family, with my community, right? So who are the speakers? Too. Yeah, it was great. Who are the speakers this year?
We've got Darren Richardson. He is a historic person. His mother, I can't think of her name, but
Monica Stovall.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So they are Des Moines native. We have Mrs. Breanne Ward.
Yes. Wonderful.
And of course we have Dr. Ian Roberts.
Lovely. Listen. Okay. So Dr. Roberts was on my podcast earlier this season.
Woo woo.
Breanne Ward closed out our last season on this podcast. And Duran is a fellow podcaster on this network.
Okay.
So this is dope. Oh, yes. Wonderful
choices. We don't have to mention that. Yes.
Yay.
It's going to be exciting. And on top of that, we have the lovely Mrs. Bethany L. that's going to be
she's
singing
going to blow
the
us out the water. Okay.
Come through with it this year. Yeah. We wanted to add something a little different. So adding the music, the different speakers. We'll also have some small business owners that have donated items so that there will be a little small silent auction that's going. So you'll be able to bid on some special gifts and take those home. Yeah.
What does Juneteenth mean to you? I mean, for me, as a historian, kind of autodidactic historian myself, it's important to remember the past, kind of related to the theme you were talking about. Remembering the past, understanding where we've been to know where we're going. And Juneteenth is central to that idea. It's really the only holiday in my mind in the United States that African Americans can celebrate without including anybody else. And I'm not trying to say I don't want to be inclusive. That's not what I'm saying. Is Juneteenth is the holiday that literally centers the Black experience in the United States and nothing else.
Right.
So what does Juneteenth mean to you? What have you learned about it that may have touched you in a way that you didn't expect?
I will say the first and foremost, Dewana touched me because of the passion she had behind it. And when I see one of my clients who has passion, this is real. Okay, how can I help you further your vision? So that's what I'm on board with. But as I've gone through and working with her, she tells me little tidbits every with the history, and I've learned so much. But when she brought out the theme for this year, which has stuck with me because that is just what Juneteenth really is. Yes, it is a federal holiday because the ending of slavery, and even though slavery really did not end during that time, but it still was a start. And then, of course, releasing that path. I mean, we as Black individuals, we do harbor that because that is what we are grown from. That's what our ancestors lived with. We still live with it sometimes, and during the ancient times, and well, not ancient times, but current day times. But then trying to move forward, how do we still educate the outside individuals on the impact that it has had on our lives and how that you can help us get through this and continue to see that we are all equal. So it's very, very impactful because you deal with naysayers all the time.
I bet you do.
All the time.
In the planning of an event like this, when it's really, in any type of event, you have to sell people on why it's important, how they will get a return on their investment. So an event like this that is so, facing a specific audience while still being inclusive of everybody else, how do you approach those people or organizations or individuals who may not even understand what the event is or what it's all about in order to galvanize support?
Yeah, because you still get people, what is Juneteenth? I never heard of Juneteenth. You got to just hit them.
You still get Black folks who say, what is Juneteenth?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You just hit them with the facts. I hit them with the facts. What is Juneteenth? Here's the facts. This is what it is. This is how you can be supportive. This is what we're going to do. I'm going to hit you with these 3 steps. We're going to sit down and have a conversation if we need to. We can do back and forth. I can come in and come to your organization, and Dwana can explain that to you. But most and foremost, if it's at the very point of it, this is what it is, so that you don't get misconstrued or get wrong information. I need for you to understand what it is and the impact that it has had on the community first.
Wonderful. So we've got the Community Builders Banquet on Thursday, June the, what is that? The
Community Builders Banquet is June 13th.
June 13th.
We have Embrace the Race with Tasha Burrell. She is doing a health and fitness on Friday at
Grays Lake
from, I think it starts at 6.
6 to 8 p.m.
6 to 8. We have Neighbors Day celebration on Saturday from 12 to 7 in Western Gateway Park. We have some things going on next week. The NAACP is doing a movie night at Fleur Cinema.
Oh, and that's on the actual date, June 19th.
That is on the actual date of Juneteenth. And then that following week, we have our charity golf outing. We still have like maybe 6 or 7 teams that we're looking to be a part of that. And that's just really about getting out on the golf course, having a good time, supporting Juneteenth, getting some dollars rolling in the organization, and just really having a good time.
Are you needing volunteers for any of that?
We don't need volunteers. We want people to come out. Come on out.
And
you don't need to learn how to go. You don't need to know how to golf.
I was going to say, because I mean, I would wear the skirt and the shoes.
No,
and not know one thing about golfing.
I don't know much about golfing at all, but we have a great committee. The Annie Up Tour team is the committee for that, and so they are on staff to help you with they'll roll out on that cart and come help you learn how to putt the ball.
Wonderful. That's good to know. If people want to learn more about Iowa Juneteenth observance, they can probably look it up on the website online.
Yep. www.iowajuneteenth.org. Yep. Everything is on there.
Good deal. Kourtney, thank you so much for being a part of this show today. I feel like, we go way back. I mean, to see you evolve into a successful entrepreneur, mother, community leader, and I use that in the sense that you established earlier in the show, and I mean that sincerely. Like, you have not been appointed and anointed by people. You've been appointed.
I get voluntold.
Yeah, but you do this well. I'm saying you are the right woman for the right time.
I appreciate that.
You're in the right place at the right time. So, as is my tradition here on Black and Privileged in America podcast, I always ask my guests to share with our listeners a book, a title, an author maybe, that has moved you, challenged you, changed you. What do you got for us today?
So here's the thing, because I knew you was going to ask this question.
You know I love books.
I know she loves books. So I am currently got 4 books that I'm working on reading.
Oh, 4.
Okay, I got 4.
You.
Now, I ain't going to give you the names because I'm going to have to tell you later. We're going to put those in the notes of the interview.
You got it.
But my major one that I can't wait to read, and y'all know, is Power Moves by Sarah Jakes.
Oh yeah,
I
Sarah
went got that.
Jakes.
I went
Okay.
got that. And Jeezy. I got one of Jeezy's books.
Okay. Great.
Yep.
All right, we'll include those in the show
I
notes.
definitely will.
I do not have. I mean, I have hundreds of books,
Mm-hmm.
but I do not have a Sarah Jakes book, and I
Yep.
feel like, dang, why don't I have a Sarah
Yep.
Jakes? Okay.
Between her and Michelle, I got Blessings when she brought that one out, but I know she's got another one that just came out. So that's another book that I definitely need to get on my roster. With all of being a business owner, you don't get to read too much. I'm horrible with it, and that's my solitude of getting back to making sure that I'm reading and still staying inspired.
Yeah, and you know what? There's different methods. Like
Mhm.
there's books on audio. There's the book in your hand. There's any
Yeah.
many different modes and ways to consume literature as long as you consume literature.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm
Thank
getting
you,
there now.
Courtney, for being here today.
No problem. I appreciate you for having me here.
Well,
been
everybody, thank you. Oh, you are amazing. Well, this is the show. You have been in community with me and Kourtney Perry, who is the CEO of Privacy LLC, Lady Lex Scented Candles, and the self-published author of Be Your Authentic Self. She's a phenomenal person, and I hope that you will get to know her through her work, support the events that she helps to plan and pull off, and patronize her store. She's located in central Iowa, Des Moines, Iowa, on Merle Road, Lady Lex Scented Candles. Subscribe, like, and share. Find Black and Privileged in America podcast on www.amplifydsm.com and my website, www.abanasankofa.com. Stay engaged, stay curious, keep striving. Thanks for listening. Until next time.